All right, so lots and lots stacked up on the show today, but let's start with something positive which happened in 2015. This was a year when finally inflation started to ease off, giving the Reserve Bank enough room to bring interest rates down. Bank rates were slashed 4 times, adding to a total cut of 1.25%. Today on this show, we are joined by Adhil Shetty, CEO bankbazaar.com, to run us through some of the smart ways you can use as a customer to get the best deal on a home loan. Adhil, hi, thank you very much for joining me today. I think the big question that we need to ask, or all buyers want to know, is can they really get a good bargain out there in the market today?
Yeah, absolutely, Manisha. There are about 25 options out there. There are the private sector banks, there are the NBFCs, there are the public sector banks. The rates have, like you said, fallen through all of 2015. We have rates at 9.6, 9.7, 9.5% now. Processing fees vary bank by bank. Some of these banks are running end of year special offers at zero proc fee. So one definitely needs to research the market, both online and offline, in order to make sure that one accesses the right financial product, which is a combination of who will lend me the amount I need at the lowest processing fee, at the speed and convenience that I need. So there are 25 options out there, and it's definitely possible to hunt down the best deal.
As I see it from our research, Adhil, the top 5 lowest home loan rates seem to be HDFC, 9.55% right now, and in the last 6 months they've really cut down rates by almost 2%. There's SBI at the same rate, ICICI and Axis at 9.65. Do you, I mean, because yours is a portal which allows you to really compare, is there some sort of a categorization that for high ticket loans there are some housing finance companies and banks which are better to go with vis-a-vis, let's say, a mid-segment home and then an affordable home?
So when it comes to the mid-segment and the high segment, right, it's a fairly competitive market. All of the players are competing there. So like you rightly pointed out, the public sector banks, private sector banks, and in fact today a lot of the NBFCs, right, are also competing in that space. So you have offers from a Tata Capital, you have offers from an India Bulls, and a lot of new competition in the mid-market and the up-market home loan size. When it comes to the small ticket loans, right, at 5 and 10 lakhs, we're also seeing a lot of developments on those sides with the likes of an AU Finance, with the likes of a Aspire Home Finance, a Grow Home Finance. So a lot of people, NBFC is making offers in the low segment also. One thing I want to point out is, while you quoted the fall in the interest rate also, people should also look at what is the processing fee on the loan. People should also look at what is the loan amount that the bank is willing to give me for the tenor I want. Someone might want a 25 or a 30-year tenor loan, and certain banks offer that. So like I said, rate is not the only thing. There are 3-4 other parameters, right, okay, which the home loan researcher should consider while accessing the right financial product.
All right, so you're saying tenure should be considered, and how much does he have to put from his pocket vis-a-vis how much is the bank willing to finance, and of course the interest rate and processing fee. So these are the 4 parameters which are important. Adhil, I would like to understand from you, is there any benefit of going with a bank versus a housing finance company? You know, there seems to be a sense that banks are always cheaper than housing finance companies. Is that a myth?
So this actually depends lender by lender. I don't think we can make a sweeping statement like that. So for example, a lot of housing finance companies have competitive offers. So if you look at HDFC, right, they have an extremely competitive offer. Also, a lot of banks have competitive offers out there, whether you're looking at, you know, a foreign bank like a Citibank or an HSBC. So I think you cannot generalize. For one's particular profile and for the type of property one's buying, one needs to research the market. And like I said, right, for any property out there, people feel that there are 3 or 4 options. But in today's market, there are 25 options across NBFCs, private sector banks, foreign banks, public sector banks, and one needs to look to see which is the right offer which meets my requirements for my property. And again, I would stay away from a sweeping statement saying one type of lender is better than another. I would actually say what is the right lender for me to access this product.
Okay, if I do find a situation where I have 3 or 4 lenders meeting all my parameters, is there a possibility of actually pitching them against each other and getting, let's say, a rate lower than what's written on their headline number?
So I would say that you should definitely speak with the person you're taking the offer from to see what is possible, or you can go online, right? And without really sharing any personal information, you have all the 25 offers listed out there. So whether you're doing it offline or online, I would say definitely research before you jump into it, because this is a large financial decision for me, right? This is potentially the largest financial decision I will make in a 10-year period. So deeply research it, understand the offers out there, understand the 4 parameters that you spoke about, and then jump in. If you do it online, it might be all available on one screen. If you're talking to people, just talk to them to see what is the best possible.
Okay, and final question, what's your own gut feel in terms of what RBI might do in the upcoming monetary policy? Do you think it's going to keep status quo, or do you think that we could get another cut?
So a couple of points, right? So one is, I think we expect that there will be further rate cuts in 2016. What will happen in the next monetary policy review, I think it's hard to predict, but there will be cuts in 2016. Another very interesting development is starting April 1st, the new marginal cost of funds lending rate, or MCLR, starts to kick in for new home loans, essentially to make sure that the transmission of rate cuts to borrowers happens very quickly. Right. The RBI regulation has already been gone out. So April 1st, we can expect the MCLR regime to kick out, which I think is great for consumers.
Absolutely, because otherwise there could be a huge time lag between really RBI bringing down bank rates and it getting passed on to the end consumer. So that's a big move coming up in April. Thank you so much, Adhil, for joining us today, and a very, very happy New Year.
Same to you, Manisha.
All right, let's go on to take up questions and answers. And of course, with the micro markets, we're going to cover our Belendur.